Okay.
Okay, now we're ready to start. The first item, it says public comment. Please limit it to 3 minutes. Jeff, Debbie, you have comment?
Only here, there's a question that comes up about water systems.
Okay. Ken, do you have any comment?
No, I don't.
Okay. The items discussed today is the possible decision on increasing the port's credit line with Kitsap Bank, and discussion and possible decision on the actions regarding the Sergeant Oyster House project. First item, Larry, would you like to explain about the credit line?
Yes. We have a credit line for 220,000. We have drawn 97.5 off of it. And that was to pay the lawyers and whatever else, something part of last month's vouchers. We'll have enough money when we get the April property tax receipts, which will be at the end of this month, to carry us through until October. But what I wanted to do was draw more off of that credit line, because we can't draw any more off of it after April 20th. And what I'd like to do is just put it in reserve. So if we have some kind of an emergency, or something happens, or, you know, something that, you know, that's totally unanticipated, that we don't run out of money. I just want to have us have access to the money. We have 112,000 left on it. What I would say is, let's draw, you know, somewhere between 90 and 100 and just park it there. We can pay it back out of that line if we want as we go along. But, you know, I'd like to just have that in reserve while we can still get it.
Can you explain about the monthly payback, and also as opposed to what, you know, paying the lawyer
Yeah,
off?
we still owe the lawyers 46,000. And I had proposed to them that if we could pay back 25 of it right now, using that credit line, if they would cancel that. They said no. So I just told them, well, we'll just continue paying back 2,500 a month then. And but we should be, with what we get in April, start to pay back on what we already owe. So.
Questions?
Yeah. What am I missing as far as the April 20th that we would not be able to do that after that date?
That's just the way that it was set up initially.
Okay.
We have 5 years to pay it back.
Yeah.
But we can't draw on it after April 20th.
Okay. Then
You know, I don't want us to run out of money sometime between now and next April. And that was the whole reason for it. Our expenses run about 50,000 a month.
yeah.
So, you know, that's where we're at. We get money again at the end of October, but that's got to carry us through to the end of April.
Yeah.
And we don't have to use it. We
don't have to use it. We
So
just
yes.
want to have it sit there in reserve in case we need it. You know, I don't really have any plans to use it, but like I said, I just don't want us to, you know, get in a situation where we don't have any money.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand the situation, so I would make a motion that we approve the line of credit to extend up to $100,000. I think I said it.
You did, and I'll second that motion, Commissioner.
Is that corrected 100,000, or was it 112? 100, okay.
100 is fine.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the credit line increase. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, again, I want it clear though, we are paying that because it's sitting there. We will be paying some money on it.
Yeah. Yeah, what I'd like to do is pay like $1,000 a month. I want to take 10,000 out when we get the April money from next month, you know, when we do vouchers next month. And pay back on what we've already borrowed, and then just budget $1,000 a month, you know, from now on to pay back what we've got. And when we reach a point, about this point next year, we shouldn't have to worry about any of this.
Then we can
And we
Pay
can
back the
just
whole
pay it all back if we need to.
any other questions, gentlemen, or?
I just want us to
Yep.
have money in reserve, which we don't have now.
No, I don't have any questions.
We'll have enough to operate on after April, or, you know, at the end of April. I just don't want us to not have any reserves. But we'll start building reserves again.
Yeah, I might add, you know, we have the IDD funds, however, that's very specific what we can use those for.
Right.
So just to clarify,
Right.
this is liquid. I understand that, but I think the sooner we pay things back, the better.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, totally.
And Commissioner Scott, we've always held off on the last IUD that we have. And I hope the port does when we do a huge expansion one of these days, but I always hope we hold off on the last IUD. So,
You know, we borrowed
Yeah.
90,000 out of the IDD to buy or close Overage property,
Mm-hmm,
and we still have to pay that back eventually.
yes,
And you know, what has prevented us from paying it back was attorney's fees for the lawsuit.
right,
So,
so,
and we paid
That
the
would be-
attorney's fees back and paid the attorney's fees instead of paying that fund back.
okay, next item, anything other than that, we're good to go? Okay, the next item is the discussion and possible decision on the actions regarding the Sergeant Oyster House project. Larry, do you want to lead off with
Sure.
that? Or you, okay,
At the regular meeting, Sean McHugh laid out what our options are. We can either apply for another Army Corps permit, which will take a year or more to get. Plus, we'll have additional mitigation other than the mitigation we've already done. And we expect that that process to cost about $100,000 more than is budgeted. Or we can move it, we can take the money we have in grants right now. We have 344 in one grant. We have about 100,000 left in the other grant. And the third grant was for fixing the parking lot after they moved the building. That's about 10,000. Excuse me. So we have those three funds to work with. But if we have to add $100,000 to the actual cost of doing this, you know, we're not going to have enough money.
Yeah.
We've got to, if we were to stick to the original plan, it would be driving pilings out in the water, building a platform and moving the Oyster House onto the platform. Or what we can do is we can move it out to where it's going to go, cantilever it over the end of the water line for, I think it's 15 or 16 feet without needing an Army Corps permit. So, and, you know, we'll be able to do that with the money we have. And we could do that fairly quickly, actually. You know, we'll have to get some engineering done and build whatever it's going to require for the building to sit on. We'll have to do that, which would be a change in scope in the grant, but I've already talked to our grant writer and she's fine with that. So, but we would be able to do everything we need to do this with the money we have. And may actually not use it all.
can we use some of that money to restore the building inside?
I believe so.
Okay. I have not contacted anybody on North Bay Historical Society yet. We were supposed to have a meeting Tuesday, but she's ill. So we will be meeting next Tuesday. And I can share with her what our thoughts are about it or whatever. I'm obviously kind of frustrated that we need to move forward on it. So
Yeah.
do you have thoughts about that, commissioners?
Yeah, to explain to me again, where are you gonna move it to instead of,
The old launch ramp location, which is directly in front of the admin building along the shore.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it was originally supposed to be well over the water,
No,
and I think I can't remember if it was like 35 or 45 feet out there,
Yeah, 40.
40 feet out. How far it was supposed to be out there, and so which is in the Army Corps jurisdiction.
yeah,
If we bring it back out of Army Corps jurisdiction, then it is over into the water line about.
I understand that. Yeah, thank you, Commissioner.
And I'd like to stress that we own the building, not the Historical Society. So the ultimate decision as to what happens is our decision, not theirs.
So I would suggest, Larry, and Commissioner Scott, is that we just move forward with the modified movement, and instead of doing a horizontal where it'd be over the water, we just do a vertical where we could not have the Army Corps of Engineers and NOAA WDFW modify our permits. So I say we just start moving forward, Larry. And I'm not going to say anymore, but we need to move forward on this thing. So let's get it out there. Let's modify the improvements. Let's work on the improvements on the interior, but let's get it out where we could mitigate the permitting system and just get it on, move it. So
Yeah,
that's,
It'll still be over the water, so that's. what-
yes, it will.
Just gonna be back, like I think 15 feet is what they said.
No, 15 feet over the water.
Yeah. So half of what it is.
now, the reason that North Bay at least was concerned too, and I just have to share this, is that it was supposed to be like a working oyster house, but for demonstration only. And I don't even know if it would have been quite possible, even with that that far. Because I haven't talked to Taylor Shellfish in a long time about what they would need to do that. But you know, they're not going to really be able to process anything in there anyway, so.
Right.
There's no oysters to process. And even when it was back in the old center, I mean, I've mentioned this to you before. I was the one that used to kick people out of that place at the old location. And let's just start getting some movement going. Yeah, people are tired of the eyesore in Allyn, and that's what I hear constantly. So we just need to move it. Let's get something done.
Okay. I don't know if we need a motion or not, but at least as long as we're on the same page with setting it back farther where we're out of the Army Corps jurisdiction.
Well, I'll make a motion anyway that we do just that for the
Okay.
record.
And I'll
So,
second that motion.
okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Motion carries.
motion carries. Yes, thank you. Okay. That's all that is on our special meeting agenda.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, so moved.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in
Thank
favor,
you.
aye. Bye.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you.